This is WSN. This is WSN. Love it or leave it. The underdog's on top, and you can either agree or disagree with her. But either way, the tribe is all here. This is a Tribe Called Jess. You can call the show anytime at 855-77-WYLDE. That's 855-779-9533.
And welcome to a Tribe Called Jess, and my tribe is all here, plus one of our favorite guests. We have Frank the Tank, Frankie Diaz. You're not on, Frankie. What's going on? Frankie will say hi to you in a minute. And I have Julio July Diaz, and I have Johnny Caniford running all things back there, and it is a hell of a storm. So we brought my Fernandina because it's a hell of a storm, and if you know my nickname, she is Storm and Firecracker. I love her so much. Our Nancy. I'm so happy to have her back. We just vibe so well.
We're always vibing.
We're always vibing. And you're off on a trippy trip. I'm a little jealous. I'm a little jealous.
I'm so excited.
She's going to Vegas, boys.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
We'll hear. We'll bring her back after and see. I know some story. I'll get a call.
No stories. Because
No, hopefully no call this trip.
No,
Yeah.
I'll get a call. I can't fucking see it. It's my favorite video call. I can't even say it. Anyway, we are coming to you live from the Salisbury studios, fueled by Monster Energy. Thank you, Monster. And we are trying to stay live on YouTube tonight, so you can go to the Wylde Style Network, WYLDE Style Network, and you can join our live chat. With the storm, we're getting the wraparound from, was it tropical storm or hurricane? I'm not sure. I think it was tropical storm, yeah? Debbie.
Deborah.
So,
Just being a downer.
she's being a Debbie Downer. That's pretty funny. It was hellacious coming here, and we're under a tornado warning now, but we're fine. I checked radar, so we're all good. We'll hopefully live to see another day, right?
Be up in the air.
Be up in- Oh my God! Stop it.
Riding your broomstick.
Riding. Well, yeah, that's true.
It's not October yet.
I don't bust that shit out until October. What?
Let me
Go
enjoy
ahead.
the summer, Nancy.
Oh yeah. Are you one of the pumpkin people?
Like pumpkin lattes and pumpkin
Like,
spice.
as soon as they
the
see the
pumpkin-
leaf fall on the
we
ground, it's
say
like
pumpkin.
pumpkin spice.
John, can you turn me up just a little? I don't know. I'm getting like an echo. Like the pumpkin sluts, they call them. All the guys post it like, let's enjoy summer. And I'm like, yes, summer.
I mean, I do love a pumpkin spice latte, and I love when my house smells like pumpkins.
I will say, like, I love the smells of the holidays, but let's not rush it because I hate being cold. There's nothing worse than being cold.
I mean,
Being hot.
I get to snuggle next to my scruffy bear, so I like it too.
That would be an actual human man.
Yes.
Meanwhile,
Viking.
I'm with 4.2 pound Oshi freezing to death as well.
4.2 pound Oshi or Frankie that's like dying of hypothermia. Who would you cuddle with?
My dog. I'm
Sorry,
not
Frankie.
helping him. He's got blankets.
It's been proven already. I almost died. I told
He
you.
almost died of hypothermia because
Yeah.
I was like, sorry for your bad luck, dude. Anyway, you can call in the show anytime at 855-77-WYLD. That's 855-779-9533. And again, if we get the YouTube up, please live chat with us. We've quite enjoyed it the last few weeks. It's been a lot of fun, right?
Yeah, I hope we can get it on.
You hope you get it on?
Yes.
Let's get it on.
Insane.
Jinx, you owe me a Coke. I love that song.
That means one track mind.
I see
Except
that.
she's got a wiener to go home to. Nothing.
Hot
That's
dogs
okay.
are yummy.
Ew.
No, like with ketchup and mustard and relish.
You put mayo on your hot dog?
I have. It's actually pretty good.
I just had a Colombian hot dog the other day.
They love mayo.
Yeah, I think they put mayo, potato chips.
Oh, you're being for real.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was mayo, potato chips. I don't know. It wasn't applesauce, but I think it was like some kind of pineapple jelly or something.
Potato chips,
Wait, on
mayonnaise.
the
On a hot dog or
Yeah.
chorizo?
On a hot dog.
On a
I
hot
mean,
dog?
that-
Yeah,
sounds
hot
good.
dog.
Like something sweet on a hot dog?
Yeah, I
I
was
can
like,
get the chips and the mayo. I understand that.
Well,
but like,
sweet relish. Sweet
I'll
pepper
send you-
yeah, but
relish.
like a jelly? That
I
would
think
be
I
kind
have
of
the
weird.
picture of the thing. I'll
It
send
is-
it to you.
Okay,
Yeah,
yeah.
it
do
was
it.
a legit
Good.
Colombian spot, and I was like,
Nice.
I gotta try it. And when I tried it, I was like, oh my god, yummy. It's
Oh,
really
that's
good.
amazing.
It's really good.
You're gonna have to send me the name of that place.
Well,
Yeah.
real quick, we have a lot on deck tonight, and we get to bring you this great content because of Monster, because of Jeff, but also our new sponsor, BetStamp. Sign up Logic for all your wonderful sports betting picks. So we want to make sure that we are getting you to go there so we can continue to bring you great content. And when you sign up, it is signupllogic.com/wildstylenetwork.com. And you get new user offers, unique picks tailored to your area, suggested picks, and obviously, right before us, notebook wagering goes on. Bang your bookie is their slogan, and Born to Bang is ours. and Smitty gives great picks. I mean, he really does give great picks, and that whole crew, Justin, and what's the other guy's name? I just went out of my head.
Matt.
So they give great picks. But yeah, sign up Logic, BetStamp. They are our new sponsor, and get on there so you can bet on your golf.
I know Nelly Corda. She wasn't doing so great today. She was leading it, and then had a bad hit.
All the golf guys just went
Crossing my
crazy out
fingers.
there. They were like, "Oh, a girl that likes golf, they like it."
I love golf.
We know.
I have no idea
wa-
what she's just said.
She was using her little what do you call that?
It's my golf trainer.
Trainer. Yeah, she does the lesson. She's in her golf era, which I love. I like. I do good at the putting,
Yeah,
and I used to work the beer cart girl, which was really
I love
fun.
it. We
A lot-
tip well.
and for the Commanders. Yeah. Oh yeah.
That's baller.
Yeah, it was baller. I had a lot of fun out there.
Oh, that's fun to golf. I like it.
Yeah, it is. I
Yeah.
like being beer cart
Especially when
girl.
you go with a nice group of friends.
Yeah.
Do the
Yeah, yeah.
worm.
Oh, I saw. Yeah. I sent her a reel that these girls, these women. Was it a?
Yeah, it was a foursome.
Foursome or
girls.
threesome?
Yeah,
Yeah.
foursome.
They were like
What?
dancing.
What
and
was it? What
Foursome or
was it?
foursome, one of the two.
Dirty golf. Dirty
Yeah.
golf. Porn
Dude, they were
golf.
dancing, and one of the women did like the backwards warm, but I mean like legit professional. We're like, what?
Goes
Yeah.
along. And
They
we're
were
gonna-
drinking the whole
We'll get
time.
into the Olympics in a bit, but it goes along with breaking starting today at the Olympics.
Break dancing.
Well, they call it
dancing.
breaking, but we'll get into that. Give me a sec.
I didn't even know that existed, by the way, until I was on Peacock, and
You
they
didn't
give
know
you all the
what
different sports that are on the
breakdancing was?
No, I knew it existed,
Oh.
but I
I
didn't
was
know
like,
it was an
bro.
Olympic sport.
They just made it for Paris,
Yeah,
so it might
super
not be
cool.
when it comes to where's it going next? Like LA, I forget where it's coming in the United States, but we get the Olympics back. It is at Los Angeles, so
We get the World Cup and the Olympics.
we get it all, baby.
Wow.
We get it all. So anyway, speaking of golf, one time I did get really drunk at a tournament, and I was driving the cart and threw three of my friends off. They ripped their pantyhose. We were working it. This is back when you could still have
Wait,
fun.
what?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. But at Bristow Manor, coming up on October 9th, I said I'd give a shout out. Ryland Strong. That is Ryland, who passed away. He played baseball with Nico. He had a brain tumor. And they started Ryland Strong. The Nats got involved. I mean, it went nationwide. And his parents keep that going. And they donate to research. And there's not a lot known of young adult brain tumors. So it's really important to support. So they're having a great golf tournament. If you want to join in, you want to volunteer. I think I'm going to try and get out there and volunteer. I talked to her. Please do so. Or you want to sponsor, you want to donate something for a giveaway. It was one of Nico's. He was his catcher. You know, Nico was obviously a lefty pitcher. Ryland was awesome. He was just a beacon of light. So get out there, show support so we can save kids' lives. I know he is watching down and loving that. So
You said October?
October 9th, yeah.
October 9th.
And I will post the information. I actually have the photos to post on all sites tomorrow. And then September 22nd, we have Champions League Boxing coming here. So they are going to have weigh-ins like in the morning, and first matches start at 2 p.m. So more to come on that. I'll be posting a lot about that. And then we have obviously local Palooza. John, help me. August 19th?
17th.
17th. Thank you. Go ahead. Black Flag. Go ahead, Julio. Who else is here?
I honestly do not know the rest of the bands. I just
I
know
did
it's like
this
August.
last week. I forgot to write down my bands, and
I
I'm
just
like,
know it's August
I know
17th.
Age of Ruin is here. Age of Ruin, so that'll be cool.
Days of Fire, Knuckleheads, Tribe Called Jess, and a lot of other local bands.
Yes, I'll be performing my Taylor Swift reversion. No. But it is a really cool indoor festival, and then obviously DMV's longest running and most successful MMA promotion, Cagezilla, is back, and that is always awesome, and that's August 24th.
Cagezilla 80. We're
Cagezilla
getting close
80
to the
already?
Oh, wow.
Yep, Cagezilla 80.
That's
it's
insane.
It's such an experience, guys. If you haven't been out for that, I mean, we sell out every time now. I mean, it's just packed. And so it's a great experience. I do the interviews, so I think they're great.
They are. Props
yeah,
to you.
I try. I prepare. So
Yeah.
I'm proud of those. So I just wanted to get that out. And then Nancy ditched me today for the nail salon. Ditched me totally. And you know I don't like new places. I had to go not to my regular one because I had to go close.
Yeah.
I was in a rush and my nails were trifling. So I'm sitting there and I'm just, quiet. I'm on the end. It's really busy. And this lady's there and she's obviously with her aunt and her mom's like across. And I can tell she's getting married this weekend. And I'm like being quiet, just listening, And she's like talking about how he only had 2 tasks, and of course he, was late. And I get that, wedding jitters, men do that.
Yeah.
It's to be expected, right? Women are the multitaskers. And then throughout the hour and a half I was there, she literally dogged this guy like every horrible thing. And I'm
my
sitting there,
God.
like she's like, and he doesn't do this, and he sits on his, and he drops it. I mean, it wasn't like if I was like, oh, like sometimes he makes a bed and I have to remake it, but at least he tries. No. And I left traumatized because I'm like, I am never, ever, ever, ever getting in a relationships. You guys, innies or outies. I'm reading the YouTube chat. Innies and outies. I'm never getting in a relationship again. I was so freaked out, Nancy.
Yes, you will.
I know, but like, can you imagine? Like, why get married? And
Well,
then I'm like,
that would be my question to her. Why are
Well-
you marrying him if you have nothing but negative things
well,
to
it's
say about him?
obviously none of my business, but I'm just sitting there going, oh my God,
Yeah.
you
No.
would have died.
I
It
would have
was
died.
Like,
I would have
that-
been side-eyeing, like mad side-eyeing.
I was like, but I was also alone. I'm like, oh, well, she was probably, and the thing was, guys, she had, not that the size of the ring, unlike D size. No, I'm just kidding.
Don't you dare say the size didn't matter.
Shouldn't matter, but like this beautiful, and it wasn't even like cushion. It was like proper stand up. I'm like, holy crap.
That's probably why.
I might want to just get engaged for the diamond of it.
Well, what'd she look like?
I mean,
She decent? I asked because I saw this hilarious clip, and it was of this guy who was 6'5", blue eyes, so buff, and this like frumpy girl.
6'5", blue eyes. You want a guy in finance?
Yeah, did you see it? He was a guy in
ladies, go ahead.
finance.
You can
but
wipe
the
that
girl
jewel
who-
off your chin, by the way.
No, listen, the girl he was married to was like 5'2", frumpy, like
Don't make fun of
frizzy
us
hair.
short bitches.
No, I'm not. But she wasn't very attractive, and she was, and I'm a trust fund baby. So it just makes me wonder sometimes.
We know why she sticks around.
If I say beauty's relative, guys.
No, everybody is beautiful
she
in their
was-
own right.
She was, in my mind, basic at best. I mean, she was fine. She
probably had a trust fund.
maybe. To answer your question, Tay Barbie, show the buttons. Are we innies or outies? I don't know if I'm an innie for sure. Usually I have.
I was wondering what they were meant by
low-
tinny or
Oh.
outie.
Usually
Your belly
I have
button.
low rise. Now I feel
Your
like,
belly button, not your penis.
I feel like I'm performing. But you might want to know. Do you want to? You might. Little I cannot talk. Vomit. They might want to know if you're innies or outies, guys. I mean, they might not be asking us.
I don't
Yeah.
know, they literally said it's Julio and Frankie.
All right. So are you innies or outies or
Who?
what?
Oh, any.
Yeah,
He
it
had to touch it to
John,
remember.
are you an innie or an outie? Can Frankie
Innie.
take it off? The girls show us, please.
I think outies are
Chicken
just
fuck, you've seen my
strange.
belly
No,
button.
no.
You've
Jess
seen
is like
my
all
belly
like
button
crop.
every weekend.
Are you an innie or an
every
outie?
week.
Any.
Innie.
I thought I was like, would
What
you
are
like to
you,
finish
John?
any or
Although when I
outie?
was a baby, mom had to put that quarter with a tape on it.
Is that a real thing?
Yeah.
I've heard about that.
John, what did you say you were?
Any?
Innie. Yeah, okay, I'm not against anybody out. Like, I have family, friends that are outies, but like, I was always like, oh God, like I thought there was something wrong.
Well, usually it
Until I got
happens when
older.
like,
the umbilical cord, isn't it?
yeah,
Something to
it
do with
doesn't
that?
heal right and the baby cries too much.
There's nothing wrong.
Too much. Yeah,
It's like a hernia, right?
Yeah, it's like a hernia, yeah.
Yeah. There's nothing wrong with it. And some people really are into there's probably a whole porn thing.
I mean, if I had an Audi, I would let the girl suck it like a nipple.
Like a nipple.
Third nipple.
John, thank you for
So gross.
We'll be interacting with you guys on the chat back and forth as I go through subjects. John, that jersey, yes. I have my
It's like this belly button.
Commanders Jersey. Hold on, guys.
Is that a Clint Portis jersey?
Yeah, it's an old Portis jersey. And then I'm wearing different jerseys depending on. I got to buy more gear.
Oh, we're getting new gear.
I got to.
We
Well,
have
you better
great
get me
new-
some.
That's what I'm saying. We are getting new gear.
Oh wait, John, are you don't like the Commanders, right? Does John like the Commanders? I can't remember.
That's a solidarity.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
All right, cool. Anyway, moving on. Second thing, I am going to try to kind of answer your question. You asked about Hooters. There was a question about Hooters, and as we know, I used to work. Hold on.
I'm sorry.
I used to work at Hooters back in the day for a long time. Traveled, opened stores, and my fraternity Hooters crew is here. We were all Manassas based. So I'm going to try and get them together, and we're going to get on here and have a show. I'll see who I can get.
Are they any
That'd be
Hooters
so
still?
fun.
And we will answer all your fans,
Are they still some open?
all your
Hooters? Yeah.
Or is it
Remember
like-
we went to that one Hooters that one time?
They closed the Manassas store
Yeah, they closed
recently,
it.
suddenly, and a couple of the corporate
Really?
stores suddenly, but they are still open.
Is it
But
is it going the Circuit City way, the
I
Radio
don't know.
Shack way?
I don't know.
Only internationally
El
available.
Salvador has Radio
But
Shacks.
I think Hooter girls can
amazing. I love
answer. Guys, we're having 5 different conversations.
I'm
here.
sorry.
I think the Hooter girls can answer a lot of questions about what went through our mind, what crazy stories that went on, the friendships we developed, the crazy songs.
Oh
we
yeah,
had
all
to
about the
sing.
friendships. That's what I want to hear the conversation about the friendships.
I have really. I didn't do
How about the
anything.
developing friendships?
It'll be interesting. It'll be interesting.
It's going to be a very blossomful conversation.
And we have shut the fuck up. Speaking of Hooters, Nancy,
Chest full of emotions over here.
happy anniversary to Nancy and her husband.
Oh, really?
Rob.
Yay.
How long have you been married?
4 years.
I was at the wedding, by the
Yes.
way. I was at the wedding. And how long have you been together?
Oh my gosh. 12?
Oh, wow.
12? Well,
you're-
we've known each other for 12.
And they're still banging like high school.
How many of those years have you been happy?
All 12.
There you go. I know.
Yeah.
That's what I wanted to ask
Yeah.
you. Yeah.
We keep things spicy, you know.
Nice.
We know. If you've watched our past episodes with Nancy, we know.
The boat knows.
I'm
Yeah.
obsessed with their relationship. It's borderline obsession. It's
Well,
borderline.
it's just like yin and yang. I bring the Colombian crazy bull in a china shop, and he
Her and
brings
Anita.
The peace and quiet.
the peace and quiet Michigander Viking vibe.
He does have
Yeah.
the Viking vibe.
Yeah.
But he's got that naughty,
hot.
naughty side.
The
And he
conquering
lets it know,
side.
but only to certain people. Like he'll like when you're there and like
Yeah.
if it's me, he's got like certain people you can
Yeah.
tell he'll slap it, do whatever. I'm like, fuck you guys, just fuck off. In all the right ways, guys.
Well,
I'm
happy
very-
anniversary, Nancy.
Thank you.
And
Do
hubby.
you want to say something to Rob?
I love you. And I'm so excited to spend the rest of my life with you and grow old and hold hands. And I'm going to die first.
Okay.
No, I always tell him that he gets
Yeah.
so mad at me because I will be so lonely and
What a selfish
brokenhearted if he
bitch.
goes
Why
before
are you
me.
dying first? He's selfish.
So I have to go first.
Let's not talk about selfish
Yeah.
bitches.
I think I'm going to have the handcuffs
I know a
ready
lot of
later.
them.
Me too. That's another episode. We'll do
Yeah.
toxic friends, toxic, naughty friends, and toxic women. We always kind of toxic man it. We're going to toxic
Yeah.
women it up. But I think you only learn because at some point I feel like I was probably toxic.
Probably.
I'm sure
I had
I
my
was.
moments.
I have my moments. Not full on
Yeah.
toxic, though.
I don't think I was ever toxic. I think I was very wild,
Yeah, same. Okay, fair.
but I was never that girl that was malicious or
No.
I never brought anybody down.
Same.
Right?
That-
Always lifted everybody up. Yeah.
Well, don't get it confused with intoxicated.
She was very red flaggish.
I finally got all the Taco Bell from when you were intoxicated out of my car. This
There
bitch.
was a lot of shredded cheese spilled that day.
I couldn't even look. By the time I dropped her off and we had 10 million conversations in the pouring rain, it's now 5 or 6? No, I got home late.
It was so late.
At 6 in the morning, and I'm just like, I don't even want to look at what this bitch spilled in my car. But I love her. Like, she would take care of me, same. And we had the best conversations.
I'm eating Taco Bell. I'm like, oh my God, Jess, it's just spilling and breaking. I don't know what to do. She's like, fuck it, just leave it. Just leave it.
I
I'll
was
get it.
like,
I'm
I'll
like,
just-
but it's your car.
At that point, it was like the damage is done. D actually detailed my car.
Yeah, you
that's
told me it was
right.
a mess. Yeah, she said it was
No,
crazy.
my car wasn't. No.
No, I'm talking about the
I keep
Taco
my
Bell.
car- Oh yeah, the
Yeah.
Taco Bell was bad. I went the next day and I'm like, oh God,
There's like a taco salad up in there.
because I don't. You know me. I don't leave trash.
Yeah.
That's one thing. I don't leave trash in my car. John says, "What's up, Julio and Frankie?" John said to your marriage, so the insurance policy is in effect. To your die first.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, well.
What are some
what's up, John?
What's up, buddy? What's up, John?
icks
Appreciate the
to you
reels.
guys? What are some icks to us? You want to go real quick round robin? We can't spend a long time. Icks.
The
It
word
says in
ick.
what?
Tay Barbie is asking us, what are some of our icks?
The word ick is an ick to me.
Icks.
Ooh, I had one I was going to tell you earlier, and I forgot it.
Men and women that don't have courage, meaning, and when I say that to each other, like in situations of dating or like they just don't, the ghosting and all that. I'm just like, I have no respect for you. It's an ick. I'm like, it's a turnoff. Like, there is no second chance, in my opinion, anymore. Like back in the day, yes,
Yeah.
of course. Now I'm just like, fuck off. And I don't hate them, but I'm not dating. If you can't show me respect and arrogance, like true arrogance in people that are unkind, that would be an ick.
Yeah.
A sexual ick, when someone kisses weird.
I know one of
And Audi Bella.
I know one of
Bella
your
Bun.
sexual icks.
What?
A bush.
Frankie and I have not
A
had
bush.
sex. We're best friends.
A bush.
Bush.
Oh, don't get me started. I'll get her.
Stop it right
Give me
now.
5 minutes. I'll find some photos for the screen.
Stop.
Ew, all right, no.
Oh my god, I'm gonna throw up. Don't say that. Were you here for that episode? Don't say it out loud.
Never gets old.
Remember the dental floss? Ugh.
You're the one bringing it up.
But that's funny because I was going to tell
don't
you
say
about
it,
this.
don't say
No, not bush, but like underarm hair.
Oh really?
Yeah, like on
or
girls.
guys? Oh, agreed. That would freak me out.
I don't think it's an ick for me.
You like it?
I mean, I'm just like, if it's just a little bit and it's thin and it's well kept, then why? Like, if men can have it there, like, why can't we? If it's not like a big,
Like a
great
bush.
bushy thing. If it's
You
just
want-
like a little petite thing.
So it wouldn't bother you with like the white powdery
Who's using
deodorant?
white powder?
Yeah,
You use white powder?
No, I use clear.
Yeah.
Okay, that would freak me out. I'm sorry.
Would
It
it?
freaks me out a bit. I think of like walking through the I can't talk tonight. Walking through the forest like with a backpack going to Woodstock.
People
I
in the
would love
morning.
it.
I would love going, but I would have shaved armpits.
Oh, I thought you were describing going through a bush like the woods. I was like, what are you talking about?
Woodstock.
That was in my 20s, Frankie.
It's like
I'm
you
kidding.
went through a bush with a book with a backpack. I'm like, what?
Oh my God. Well kept. That's right. Well kept. Well kept. None of this dental floss shit. Do you guys
Dental
have?
floss shit.
Do you guys have an ick?
I
Quickly.
I can't. I had one earlier that I wanted to mention to you and I forgot it.
A sexual ick?
Whatever.
Anything ick.
I think sexual ick is way more fun, but you can say anything.
Say anything. Sexual ick.
Well, you know, for me would be like gross toenails.
Okay.
Yeah.
Smelly feet.
Smelly feet.
I don't know. Okay.
Smell like a, smell like a. Oh,
That was
sorry.
number 2.
How about hairy nipples? Is that?
Why would you,
Like just pluck the nipples.
Dude, it was all the hair.
Oh my God. Sorry, I grabbed my boobs. I'm like,
Just like I have to check.
Okay,
I don't like it when people eat and they are like,
oh my God, yes. Agreed.
Dave
that
Harvey
is
said
an
that.
ick for me.
Julio, don't ever invite Julio to dinner.
Wow, the hypocrisy.
Or when people smack, like when they talk or they go, hello.
Oh my God. Oh my God.
One day we'll tell.
That's so real.
Oh, I can't.
You guys wouldn't
Yeah.
do ASMRs then.
Bad breath is a good one. Bad breath.
Oh,
Yeah.
halitosis. Just get some
Well,
floss.
Just tell people, and so they can go get it sorted.
yeah.
You know, like people need to know, and you can help them get it. Sexual ick, asking for head. I feel like I should just want to do it because I wouldn't want to ask either.
That's girlfriend stuff. I can't answer that question.
So wait, Tay
But as
Barbie,
wifey stuff.
Tay Barbie.
She wouldn't. She doesn't want to ask. Like,
So we know Tay Barbie.
yeah, she said, yeah.
Okay, so you don't want to be asked to give head. That wouldn't bother me. It would depend if I'm in a relationship, but if I'm not in like a total, I'd be like, bitch, I'll give you what I want.
Yeah. Because I guess
Yeah,
if
I
they
get
want
that,
to,
I get that.
If they want, what is it? If they want
So
to,
what you want, what you
should.
really
If
want.
you wanted to, you would.
Yeah, you would.
I don't know. Roadhead's kind of hot. It's hot. When you're in a relation, I think it's hot. You don't think Roadhead's hot? You can answer. You have a voice.
Hitting every speed bump possible.
What are you talking about?
Nancy's like flashbacking over there, Jen. You know, to
She
keep
only
her
told us her
cool.
boat story.
Is Rob,
I know, right?
is Rob coming out to your car when you get home?
Yeah, I mean, you got to keep it interesting and do different things and try different locations.
I like
But
and
would it be an ick for you? Like her, she said she doesn't want to be asked. Like it's an ick for her if her man asks her, like, give me some head.
I mean, I guess it just depends on how, right? Like, if he's like,
If he grabbed my head and goes
girl,
like
give
this.
me some, or like, you know, it was an attractive, hot kind of way, then no, that wouldn't be an ick.
Yeah.
But usually, if you have to ask, it means the person doesn't want to, right?
But I've had guys that I'm in a even relationship with, and this is a while ago, but like they'll grab your head and go like this, not in the moment of hot passion, and just be like, "Suck my dick, bitch," and I'm like, what? No, like,
No.
Also, then I'm pissed because it's a little bit more aggressive. So I don't know.
And to your question about if you have to ask, I mean, maybe it's not, right? Maybe that girl just likes for a dominant man to be like, pick you up and throw you around and we're gonna do
I mean,
this
I'm
and blah,
fine
blah,
with
blah, blah.
it. I'm fine with that. I'm fine with that. I'm fine with that.
I like Nancy's change of voice. She's like, oh.
I mean,
I'm fine if you.
You know, it's funny. I'm picturing
I'm
me.
waiting for
when
that
she said that, I'm
Viking.
picturing me getting picked up and throwing her out. She's like the dude. I'm like the girl. Oh yeah, I get picked up and thrown out.
Do you pick Rob up?
absolutely not. I can't. I'm not that strong. Maybe
Oh, but
when
she
we
tried.
first
She
started
tried.
dating and I worked out all the time, but not now. No.
Yeah. I don't know. I kind of like the slam against the wall. Like, that's hot. Like, the pickup.
Yeah.
Yeah. Get railed against the wall. Anyway, okay. God.
Yeah, we went from eggs to
It's
like
like-
fantasies.
I know, like, how do you like to get
favorite
railed?
positions?
Speaking of, so we learned this week, of course, the Olympics are going on, and I'll let you guys all say your thing. But I just want to talk about something very, very serious that we learned this week. That size does matter when it prevents you from
I'm
getting
taking the gold.
a gold medal or any medal when you're just kicked right off that podium because your wiener's too big and just cut you off. Oh my God. They're like, okay, so my crotch interference is what they call it.
Gosh, interference.
It was Anthony Ammirati. He's French. And they called it he goes, it was a big disappointment. I said, oh, yes, it was.
But was it?
They're like, oh, it was his cup. And I'm like, it's quite a cup. Quite a cup.
His cup is full.
His cup is
cup
full.
is full.
His cup runneth over and hit the bar.
It was more than just a tip.
But that was like the French swimmer. I think it was the French swimmers too. Did you see what the swimsuits and they were like
Yes.
very well endowed.
Yes.
And I tried to show my husband. He's like, "What am I looking at?" I'm like, "How do you not
See
see?"
the big dick
what?
sitting
I'm
there.
like, "Here, let me zoom in for you." And he's like, "What's wrong with that?" I'm like, "Do you not see that?"
There's nothing wrong with it. It's just like, but you know, like here.
He said, that looks kind of small.
That's probably what he was thinking.
I mean, they're in Europe. In Europe, they're not as body shy as we. Like they
No,
don't give a
they're not.
shit, which I love about Europe.
So what you're saying? This wasn't the Greece Olympics.
We'll get to that. Hold on. But here's the cooler thing. So I went and checked this, and it was on TMZ, which is pretty reliable.
Yeah.
Reliable. TMZ usually gets it something. There is truth down that
Yeah.
lineage of what they're reporting, right? And supposedly, and I forget the company's name, $257,000 to be in a porn.
Yeah,
he got a porn offer.
Oh, that's
I'm
right.
Like,
Yeah.
I'm like, you didn't get gold.
Only
but
for 60 minutes.
Wait, the
French guy.
270,000.
Oh, no, Italian guy.
257. No, he was French.
I thought it was Italian.
No,
He
he's
was
Italian.
French.
So,
His
I mean,
name sounds Italian to me too, but when I looked it up, it said, but you're probably right.
Yeah, I'm willing to bet he's
I
Italian.
mean,
No, he's
TMZ's
French.
info is always
French,
semi-correct.
French.
Semi-correct.
Thank you. He's
Emirati?
French. Emirati, he's French.
Emirati. Am I righty or am I wrong?
Whether he has Italian heritage or not, he's competing with France. I don't know.
Yeah.
Who
Was it Italian sausage or a baguette?
Whatever. Whatever.
His
I don't
bulge
give a shit.
got the
There he
bump.
is. There he
How
is.
unfortunate,
You can
but
see
not
the
for
head.
the
That's
viewers.
not just the cup.
Anthony
I can
Amrati
see
was
the whole thing.
an Olympic pole
Jessica's
vaulter.
like-
Anthony
Jessica's like,
Amrati
I can
failed
see
to
the
clear his
veins.
target height
Now,
after
my
his
new,
bulge
now
caught the
I will
bump.
tell you,
How
my
unfortunate,
new loves
but
of
not
my
for the
life
viewers.
are, the
Anthony
Italian
Amrati was
switch.
representing
Oh
the host
my
nation
God.
Which
France
pole- which
in the
pole are
event
we looking at?
Paris Olympics. He knocked
There's
off
so
the bar
many
at a height of
poles.
5.70
I didn't
meter
see them.
prior to his third
I'm
vault,
gonna have to Google it.
which measured
And you're like
5.70
me, I'm gonna
meter.
let you speak
The
to this.
21-year-old
Like the track and field. I love the breakdancing.
Yes.
Started today, breaking, whatever, because I'm an 80s girl. And obviously the gymnastics. I love it all. And it's such,
The
to
gymnasty.
me, the Olympics.
The gymnasty. That's so good.
You're a pain in my ass.
It's a nasty
You're getting
twirl.
kicked out.
That's been a nasty twirl.
Yeah, they should do that song.
Yeah, there you go.
No, but they're the epitome to me of like, I just have tremendous respect. The discim,
Yeah.
the
You
sacrifice.
can't say epitome
And-
tremendous.
I don't even know what we're
I
talking
keep
about anymore.
thinking of this song. Tremendous epitome.
I'm getting to that.
And the climax.
The tip of the iceberg.
Look at that.
Can you imagine being the commentator? I don't think I could
No.
have continued.
No, you would be with Snoop and Kevin Hart, which I love. I love them. They crack me up. Snoop kills
Crying
me.
over here.
But no, I just think the epitome of discipline, sacrifice. If you want it bad enough, I think I can't remember if it was track and field or swimming. She was getting interviewed, and she's like, "Yeah, I could be out at parties, and I want to do all that stuff. That'd be great. But there's so much more for me, and I want
Right.
to do all this." And I thought it was cool. And then the British girl, go ahead, you can speak to this because she was awesome.
So I was watching the 800 meter run, which I think that's what you ran. And I'm gonna say this wrong because I made you laugh when I said her name. I wanted to say it was Hodgkinson,
I said it sounds like,
but it's the blonde chick from. Is it still Great Britain or is it UK?
great. They said it is Great Britain.
Okay.
It is great.
From Great Britain. This chick had an ass for days, led the entire way. I think it was a Jamaican girl that caught up and was within like 4 strides of her.
And
And
then
then at the last heat, she just took off and left them all behind.
It was
Did
it
she
was an
make-
incredible.
Was it a
race.
world record or a
I
Olympic
don't
record?
know.
No, but
And
she
it
wa-
wasn't
like,
even
it
the-
was incredible.
It wasn't even the race for the medal.
medal,
It was
yeah.
it was like the finals to qualify for the medal. And then I was really disappointed in not seeing. I think her name's Sha'Carri. I don't know what it is about her. It's like her persona,
Yeah.
her vibe, her drive, and she's just amazing. Like her hair, her
Yeah.
nails, everything. She's just a fine specimen of a woman athlete.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I have so much respect. And the gymnast, Simone, I mean, just levels.
Oh, crazy.
I mean,
Yeah.
levels. Most decorated gymnast in the U.S., I think, maybe in the world. I can't remember that. She's incredible. I mean, just the athletes, period. And I love, so speaking of the running, this is so funny. So, and I don't know if it was her, but one of the athletes from the United States, the runners, they said why she is so exceptional is because, and I'm a runner, I ran cross country, and I can run really fast.
It's like she runs from relationships.
Yeah.
Ew.
I don't run from relationships. That was shitty. I don't run from relationships. I don't want one right now. I mean, I'm not saying that's a lie.
Continue with the athletes.
But
I mean,
anyway,
she did have ass for days. It was beautiful. I admired it. I was very jealous.
Yeah.
The athlete.
Yeah.
She was an athlete.
Anyway, skip what I was going to say. That doesn't matter at all. So, I learned today, guys, women especially out there, I learned a new use for pickle juice.
What?
These girls are swearing by this.
Oh, I don't know. I learned
What
something
were you
else.
gonna say?
I watched this video where this chick put tahini in a jar of pickle juice and shook it up and then
so
put
good.
roasted chickpeas on it and drizzled it with olive oil and served it with toasted, maybe it was a toasted baguette. I don't know. It was toasted bread.
A big baguette.
Yeah.
A big.
It was pretty
baguette.
girthy. So it looked amazing and delicious. And I love pickle juice because I used to drink it all the time after my run.
So, this chick's been married to her husband for 7 years. Beautiful girl. She's on TikTok. and she's talking on a pod to her girlfriend, and she's like screaming, crying about her period cramps. The other, she's telling the story, and now again, together 7 years, she's like, I have suffered in pain with this period cramps and scream every time to my husband, right? I mean, until you tell men you have one, just stand down. Stand down. It is the worst. And he goes, babe, just go drink some pickle juice and you'll feel better. And she thought he was joking. He's like, no, I'm serious. She's like within minutes, like cramps down by like 95%.
Well, the sodium and the electrolytes that you get from the pickle juice.
I love pickle juice.
Because as soon as I was done with the run, or if I was done with a really hard workout back in the day when I used to work out all the time, I would always drink some pickle juice when I got home. Always.
Insane.
Really? I just love the taste of pickle.
I mean, I do that too with some Jameson picklebacks.
I can't do Jameson. Jameson and I are not friends.
Gross.
It's delicious.
Do you drink pickle juice
I
for your
do
cramps
not.
as well?
I don't like pickles, so I don't do the pickle juice.
That is so weird.
You don't like pickles?
I don't like pickles. No,
None?
I don't like the sweet pickles.
I don't like sour
dill.
pickles, salty pickles.
What about the little baby frog pickles?
Ooh,
No.
they're good.
The
No.
gherkins?
Now
The
those
fried
I will
pickles,
eat.
no pickle.
Why?
I just don't like the tickle.
Jessica just
Were you just waiting for that, or
Walking
is it
into
true?
that
Do you
one.
really not like pickles?
totally worth it. He doesn't like
I
pickles.
was like, I love pickles. No, I don't like pickles at all. I don't.
Really?
Not on my burgers, not on my sandwiches, not.
Did
as a
not-
snack.
When we
Do
were
you
in
like-
Miami,
do you like
we didn't get
vinegar?
the.
What about
I
fried
don't like vinegar
pickles?
chips.
No, I said
no.
no. How can you not eat a fried pickle? Oh my
I just
God.
no.
Just
I-
the little pickles. Remember that place at French? What is it? La Sandwicherie.
In Miami?
Oh, that place is awesome.
They put those little pickles. I thought you tried them with the little pickles.
No, I think I either give it to you or I throw it away.
No, it's like they put
Nancy
like
and
like
I
a
don't
handful
try
of
little pickles.
I always tell them no pickles.
We don't like little pickles.
pickles.
I'm kidding. Gabby does. 3.3.
3.3.
The average dick size is, I literally died.
The Greek Olympics.
So I
I don't believe it.
I reposted the reel when last time Nancy was on the show. Gabby was here. Frankie, you were on video. You were here. And we were, I don't know I can't remember the discussion, but she says, do you remember when, the ancient Greek times, they made the dicks really small in the statues? So, because they thought it affected their brain.
Because
if
they
their
thought it was a
dick
distraction.
from
Yeah,
their
so the
brain.
smaller the pickle, the more enlightened you were.
So you have more blood in your brain instead of down there, right? The distraction.
Right. So she's talking about how she loves small dicks and 3.3, and Nancy is in the background going, Nancy goes, pretty sure that was an excuse because they have small dick energy.
I mean, it's true.
And it was
Yeah.
back in the times, the Greek Olympics.
I mean, I do.
Yeah, but that was back at the time with the gladiators and the lions and the Corsos, and it's just like,
No, they didn't need the blood in their dicks.
Damn,
they needed
like,
it in their
wait,
arms.
What were they fighting with, Nancy?
Their
Like,
swords. What kind of sword fighting were they
their
doing?
staffs.
Their staff.
Their staff.
Thou shalt not pass.
If you didn't trip over it, you would lose.
Sorry, guys, we lost internet, so we're back. If you can get back on, come back on.
I wouldn't even mention it. 'cause
Baby, come back.
when the later video,
Oh,
they're
okay.
tune in.
Okay. So anyway, another thing we're going to talk about next week, but let's do a round robin on this. Frankie gave me this reel. Does it cost more money to date hot chicks?
Yes.
Let's just be superficial, and we all know what hot is.
Yeah, because in this reel,
Hot.
the guy was just going off like all
Let's
like.
not- I don't want to get too far into it because
All
I
right.
want to save it
Just a tip.
for next. Just a tip of this.
Just the pickle.
Nancy, what do you think?
Well, it depends. Are they hot and high maintenance, or are they hot and chill?
Well, I think
they're
he
sexy and they
referenced-
know it.
He's referencing they get their nails done. That's
Oh,
well, he
then
was-
there's a lot of
Makeup
maintenance
and
that
all
goes
that.
along with that. So I would say they're more expensive.
yeah.
I don't know. I gotta say, man, like I'm starting to get disappointed in this generation's men, because there's certain things you just don't start thinking about. Like, when do I start sitting down and adding up like how much money I'm gonna spend on a woman's makeup and her clothes and her nails? And that's what I work. I work and I pay for it. That's it.
I love that you're saying this right now because I base a lot of my thinking on my parents.
Yeah.
And my dad lived for my mom. Her hair done, her nails. Everybody's gonna give me shit for this, but her push present was a mink coat for me. It was a rabbit fur for my brother. Like, he just spoiled her, and not because she asked for it, but because she was his prize. Like, I don't want to say possession, but
he loved her.
He was obsessed with her. So he just wanted her to be happy and feel pretty and have the best things. And our generation, it's like, oh my God.
Not our generation.
Or not our
It's
generation,
more
but
the millennials.
yeah, they're
And-
like, ew, you're going to spend money on your hair. That's too expensive. Why are you getting your nails done? You don't need that.
Or you need to pay for it.
Or you need to pay for it. And I just think to myself, how about we are a direct reflection of each other.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I just don't understand
I think,
that.
I think this is a great subject. So for those that came back onto YouTube or lost connection, we're talking about setting up for next week. Our hot chicks cost more to date. I think let's just take that out real quick to go with your point, Nancy. I mean, my grandfather would, never ask my grandma. A lot of Gen X men, they would be like, absolutely not. You don't have to pay. Because
Yeah.
I think we've gotten so like. I date younger, which we're going to go into later. It's like, you want to split the check? No, I don't. And again, always be generous. That doesn't mean I won't be generous, but I need to know that you're masculine and are in that mindset, whatever the
Chivalry.
Chivalry.
And I'll tell you what, though,
but hold
like,
on, Frankie.
go ahead.
I think it does go back to what we have this discussion all the time on the show, like who pays. And I'm not talking about initially, fine, whatever. Everybody has a different opinion on that. Fine. If you guys want to split the fucking bill, split the fucking bill. I don't care.
Well, if we're splitting the bill, then we're not on a date.
Correct. But I'm just saying, like, you have girls out there like, I'm fine with splitting the bill. Fine, then pay for your. I don't give a shit.
Yeah.
But for the rest of us, I'm like, I think guys are like, I want a girl that looks good. I want her to go to the gym. Men talk about this all the time. I saw a guy post, if I see a girl without her nails done, I think she's either broke or out of a job or something like that.
That's
like,
so funny.
But I'm just making a point.
Yeah.
It's like, you don't understand the cost it goes into looking good. And I don't care if somebody labels you as hot or not. And then they also want to be taken care of on some level, emotionally, domestically on some level, right? Men that we talk about that. And I don't think there's anything wrong with that. And it's like, yeah, but here, you pay. And I'm like, what? Then what the fuck am I getting out of it? And
Yeah.
it has nothing to, people always keep going back to money. I don't know if I'll ever get this right. It's a mindset of a male and a mindset of a female too. Like, meaning I need to show you, I want to show you appreciation. We have to understand the DNA of how each other works.
Yeah, I mean, me personally, I don't ever think about, at least not like consciously, like, okay, she spent all this money on her hair and her makeup, this and that. She's gonna do that regardless of myself because she wants to look good, period. So I'm not gonna be like, let them use that excuse either, like, oh, I spent all this for you because you didn't.
Hold on.
Wait, let me-
Spicy, real quick. Spicy Ron, I just want to address this real quick in case we do lose connectivity. First of all, Nancy and I both, single mom, raised kids, putting our kids through college, and we have always worked and taken care of ourselves. And I've been made to split almost everything, almost my entire life. So I don't think that's a fair statement. However, if I'm high maintenance, I've done it for myself. I'm at an age and a point in my life where I'm like, no more. So it doesn't mean I won't be generous to that man, though. Go ahead.
Yeah, so to me, I don't let it. Look, there's gonna be people who, or in this case, I'm gonna say women, right, who are gonna use me for my generosity, right?
Yeah.
But that's the risk I take, and it's okay. I'm okay with that game, right? It's up to me how many dates I allow myself to be used. The
Right.
first time I might go out, I realize she's not interested, and she was, she enjoyed everything else.
Yeah.
Didn't get a kid, nothing. Then you're like, okay, like it's my.
Bye.
Yeah, it's like either I
Yeah.
try it one more time, or do I say, you know what? Obviously, there's nothing there.
Right.
So that's just me. I'm gonna be who I'm gonna be, regardless of if I'm thinking like, oh, am I being used or not? Because if you think that way, then you're not gonna do anything, and you're gonna start thinking like these guys think nowadays. Oh, I'm not gonna spend because of this. Oh, I'm not gonna spend. Then it takes the fun out of dating. You have to take a chance of risk.
It's also become such a competition between
Yeah.
men and women when they're dating. I'm like, I agree with you. Like, it's almost not fun. Like, oh, dude, did she like blah blah, and did you blah blah, and I'm like, God, like what the fuck? Like it's just not even fun, and people don't even know how to talk to each other. I mean, it's just like, and the ghosting shit and all the bullshit. I'm just like, it's so common. It's such piss poor behavior. And I'm just like, before I used to be like, okay, it's the generation. Fuck off. You all know how to have manners, men and women.
Yeah.
Use them. If you don't like someone, have a pair of balls, or be a courageous woman. Say, I don't like you.
Yeah.
Say you're down the fuck and let the person make the decision.
Yeah.
Stop fucking playing people. Like, what is your problem? How can people treat each other like this? And I do go the fuck off about it, but I'm so over it.
Yeah, it's so disrespectful.
And
Time is so valuable,
and
you know?
when they say show up as the type of woman, I am, with the like celibacy thing, working on myself. So I am showing up as that type of woman. So I don't know. We'll definitely talk about it. Any last thoughts, Nance?
I guess just to piggyback off of what you said, I've been the high maintenance and I've been the laid back, right? And anyway.
I mean, I feel
all I have
like
to
you
say
and
about
I
that.
have had
Yeah.
to be, when we are high maintenance, I feel like I took care of my own high maintenance. Meaning, like, nobody was going to get me the shit I wanted. I got it.
I mean, I was
But
a
what
little
is high
spoiled
maintenance?
sometimes,
At
but
the time, I made very, very crazy, insane money, and so I could do that. But I worked for that money.
But what's the definition of high maintenance, though? Is it when you feel the strain on your wallet? Or because you can
I
spend a
get
lot,
my-
and
I
if
get-
it doesn't affect your pocket, then
I
you're
get my
fine,
nails
right?
Yeah.
done, my feet. I do a lot of times do my feet because I just trash, walking around boats. Especially, it was worthless to get a
Yeah.
pedicure. You had to do your own. My hair, I get touched up, and when I get extensions in, like proper, I pay for those. I mean, I spray tan. I don't, because I don't like to real tan anymore. 'Cause
Yeah.
of my skin cancer scare. So I don't know.
I've cut way back. So like when Rob and I first started dating,
Yeah.
it was
That's age.
nails, it was getting my hair done, and then all of a sudden COVID hit, and I was like, "Fuck
Yeah.
it, I kind of like my sparkly gray hair." So I actually went gray for 4 years, and then I stopped getting my nails done. I actually got my nails done for the first time in like a year and a half today because we're going to a wedding. Hey, and those are things that I don't normally do anymore because I prefer to garden and take care of my chickens. But I'm always well kept and my nails are always manicured and clean. And now I do dye my hair again.
I think priorities too, and we'll move on from
Yeah,
this.
that's
with
the
material.
key. What you're about to say, priority. That word.
Priorities as you get older. Like I remember, I would get a paycheck and go get a Gucci purse and spend top $2,000 on a new wardrobe on a Friday, and it was
needed
fine.
my trues, my
Again,
sevens.
I did it, but like now, I have other I want to travel, so I would pick traveling over a Gucci purse. Like I don't give a shit. I carry this thing everywhere because I'm so hard on everything. And when I need to have a nice purse, I dip into the old stash and I take it, like the white party we went to or something like that. I don't really give a shit. Now, certain staples I will. So we'll move on from it, but I do want to talk about it next week. Maybe you can call in on the phone.
I just want to say
That would be cool.
one thing.
Go
I
ahead.
think to me, high maintenance would be when
No, I don't eat my chickens.
high maintenance to me is when you prioritize like all that stuff, over comfort. Like if it's stressing me to be able to maintain that lifestyle, then you're high maintenance. But if it's someone that, I'm able to maintain it, then it's not. Like if you, for example, like you say, if you chip a nail and you can't get to the salon, it's okay. You're gonna be like, oh, there's no way I'm gonna walk around with one chip nail. Like, it's like, that's to me high maintenance.
Oh.
That's like,
Nancy, look
She,
at.
she just said that she doesn't eat her chickens, but I'm just like, viewers later might not know, so you might want to address the chat. That's what
clarify your
that's what you're
chickens.
referring to.
Clarify your chicken.
Just sounds random post.
So I have 12 adult hens. I have 2 roosters, and I have 3 ducks. And I love my eggs. I have all different color eggs. I have blue eggs. I have
Yeah,
pink
she
eggs.
does.
I have
I need
brown
some
eggs.
eggs.
I have dark chocolate brown eggs with freckles. And I have 5 baby chicks that are super cute right now, 2 of which my hens hatched, and then 4 I grabbed from the store.
And they dance to techno.
They love EDM.
They do love EDM.
So, to be fair, I don't eat those chickens, but if we have a rooster, we will harvest him before he gets too old to eat
Okay,
him.
don't tell me that.
Sorry.
Even though I understand, but then I see the
She's-
rooster and I get very upset.
She don't
So
eat the
they will
she don't
actually-
eat the
No,
chicken,
I
but
know,
she
I
eats
get
the
it.
cock.
They
You're
rape
not
my
wrong.
hens and then they'll like hurt them. So, and people don't want roosters because they could be very aggressive, and you have to have a certain hen to rooster ratio. You have to have at least
okay.
8 to 12 hens to 1 rooster, except for my itty bitty black rooster, Polly. He's just,
Your black
Chilling.
cock.
Your little black
he
cock.
literally is my black hawk.
Little
And
black
he's like
cock.
furry and the cutest. I'll like send a picture for Jess so she can post it. But, so yeah, we can't have more than those 2 because they'll end up hurting our hens.
Oh, gotcha. John,
Yeah.
you had something? And I'm
No,
gonna move on.
she was talking about the cute chickens. It's when I've raised birds like a couple years ago, and I got the catalog of all the different stock. It's fascinating how many different breeds there are. Like,
Yeah.
and they all look like. Some looks like a rock star. Some
Those are the Polish
It is
hens,
wild
or
all the
chickens.
different like hairstyles they have. Like I think of a chicken, I think of what you get at the supermarket. But it's
Oh, yeah.
it's insane how many different. There's like breeds of dogs.
Yeah,
That's really
Polly's
cool.
is silky.
Well, if I get Nancy to send me some photos, I can put them on the Wylde Style page,
Yeah.
the Tribe Called Jess page. That'd be cute. But another subject I saw, I got to move on because we have our big subject, but I want to touch on this real quick. Something trending again that I'm seeing on all the socials and just talked about is situationships. Do you know what a situationship is?
Where it's convenient.
Well, a situationship is when you're not in a relationship, but you're doing, especially women, doing kind of girlfriend things. And a lot of times, I think, especially with my younger, and you're still banging the dude, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I've been in situations.
It's like a friend with bennies.
No.
Oh, no?
No, because a friend, we did a whole show on this. A friend with bennies is more like you have a true understanding. Like, okay, we're friends with bennies. You normally in a situationship, one or the other still thinks they're kind of gearing to a relationship or kind of in a
It's
relationship.
like, what are we? What's going
But they're
on?
not-
It's like
no,
a
But
mess.
I feel
But
like
it's a
when
mess.
you're in a friends with bennies situation, someone always catches feelings.
Right, but this is totally different. We broke this down. So friend with bennies, you're defining
It's
it from
defined,
the beginning. We're friends with bennies. I
Yeah.
always say someone catches feelings. Agreed. Situationships have been around, I would say, defined for the last 5 years. Like people use the terminology. And it's basically like one or the other feels like they're in a relationship. They're doing relationship things. But it's a road to nowhere.
Right.
It's a road to nowhere. And I find girls more in them too. I've been guilty of it. But let me tell you something. So I'm seeing this trend again. And I just get so upset because I hear especially women go, well, I mean, he's just been really busy. And I'm like, the motherfucker has not been busy for 2 fucking weeks. I mean, like, and the narratives that people with hope convince themselves of. And here's what I'm going to say, and I'm going to use it as if a girl that's in the situationship getting hurt, right?
Right.
There is no dick. There is no love. There is no nothing that will waste my time. You can never, ever, ever get back your time. Ever.
It's precious.
And you have to be realistic to yourself. If somebody isn't making plans with you, they're telling you, look, I texted at the red light. Okay, I didn't, cops. I mean, to say, oh, da-da-da-da-da, or a voice clip. You obviously went pee at some point today, or men take a shit. Like, you did something, that person can text you back. And the excuse is, oh, well, he hasn't seen his boys since, like, Monday. I'm like, bitch, he's not interested. Because what I'm going to tell you, and I saw this reel this week, all the things that women say that men will not do, they will absolutely be that man for the woman they like.
1,000,000%.
They say men aren't like that. Men are 100%, and so are women. I'm just using this example. They will do whatever and move mountains and heaven and earth for a woman they like. They will text you. They will make you a priority. They will take you on dates. They will let you know where they are and if they're interested. And if they're not doing those things, a one-off is fine, guys. Everybody has a busy day. On a consistent, that man is not interested in you. Let it go because you can't get that time back. And there is a motherfucker that will, and a girl that will for you guys.
I mean, I never think that way.
But go ahead. Anybody have a thought?
No, I was gonna say, there are certain jobs where you maybe have to like turn your phone off, turn it on, right? But you know that as soon as you get out of that thing, boom, you check your phones and you start texting everybody and replying. Hey, I just got out. Like, so,
Yeah.
this and
I-
that.
Yeah, if he's interested,
Yeah.
he's gonna be excited to hear from you, see you, get a hi.
I have been in 8-hour meetings, and if I like a man or the relationship I'm in, whatever that is, hey, babe, just let you know I will be in this 8-hour meeting. Now, if I'm in one all of a sudden every day and I was never before, that's a sign. But I think, like, I get out and I'm like, I'm out of the meeting, blah, 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 or I went to bed, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, come on. There's never, ever a time. I have not known a man that was into me or a guy I was into where they struggle to know if I was into them. Now, I think there's situations where people are overly secure and you'll never be able to do enough, and those people need to heal and work on themselves, as we all get that opportunity to do. But, like, you got to move on. Let go of the hope, work on self, do fun things, distract yourself, but love yourself and know your worth enough. Get the fuck out of this shit. And to the people doing it, why?
Yeah.
I can't imagine leading someone on. I have a pair of balls as a woman, but more than anything, I respect people.
Yeah, but it's a little bit of both, right? Shame on the person who does it, but then accountability for the one who allows it too, right?
Yes, allow it, but Frankie, I think in this situation, I can put my brain in both sides of that and go, if you're giving someone enough hope and they're hanging on to that, shame on you for doing
yeah,
that.
you're an asshole.
Because at that point, they're being really emotionally controlled. At some point, yes, if it's over and over,
Yeah.
you got to wake up, move on, and if you don't, then that's on you.
Yeah, and
what's-
you're missing out on what
You're
is
missing
ahead of
out on
you.
you.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like I kind of went back when we said girls, when they're younger, get hyper obsessed. We were
Yeah.
too. But I even see it throughout, and I just don't know why people can't respect each other and just let that girl go. And you have to keep that one in your bag. And I'm like, why would you do that? Who raised you to think this way?
But you know what the irony of that is?
that goes back to your roster though.
Yeah, but you know what the irony of
I
this
don't
is?
have her. I can't.
What's ironic is that the people who do that, if it's done to them, ooh, they'll be like the biggest bitches. They'll be the biggest crybabies, like an emotional mess.
Because usually those are narcissists.
But that's how it is. It's like, that's how I always try to treat people. Right? I treat them how I want to be treated. You
Yeah.
know? But it's like those
Golden
people
rule.
a lot of those people who do a lot of fucked up stuff. Like you do something.
Oh, you fuck with them?
remote
Oh, my God.
To what they do. Oh.
Well,
Like the biggest
because
bitches.
a lot of times I agree. I don't think everybody's narcissist, but true grandioso narcissist. Because we kind of,
Yeah.
that was the other one, grandioso
Yeah.
and vulnerable narcissist. I think, and that's going to lead us into our next subject, which I think is going to be an intense one, guys. But they can't believe when you do something back. I just look. I've been in situations where I've let people down later, in all fairness. But
Yeah.
at some point, and then I still get shit on for letting them being honest. And if somebody's going to be mad at you for that, then that's on them. But at least you're being honest with them.
Yeah.
And if somebody's not going to let go and you're being honest with them, but be very clearly honest with them, that means tell them the truth and let it go and let them, move on. But I just see so many, just because I talk to more women getting this, and I'm like, that man is not interested in you at all. And I say such a cliche thing. If he wanted to, he would. If she wanted to, she would. But they would.
Yeah. I just think back to when I was dating pre-hubby. And there was a couple times where I dated a guy that was super, super nice. And he was okay looking.
It's hard.
But I just didn't connect
Agree.
or vibe with him. And I didn't have the balls to tell him, but I also wasn't stringing him along. Like I wasn't responding or
Were
reaching
you
out.
actually dating him, though? Like,
No, we had only gone out on a couple dates. And I got, no joke, a
Book.
proper 3-page
Me too, girl.
letter of saying I ghosted him, even though I was pulling back like
Yeah.
a lot. And I felt really bad about it. But at the same time, it was really hard for me to be. Now I don't have a problem with it, but then I had a problem with being uber direct
Yeah.
because I was afraid of hurting feelings.
I would say I'm much
but it
better.
hurt
Yes.
more doing what I did than
Correct.
just saying something.
I don't think any of us here is not guilty, but but it's become such at some point in our lives. I do not think that's not what I'm trying. I'm not trying to set up like we have angel wings and we've never.
I do now.
I think we've learned.
Chicken wings.
But I think sometimes we got to take our losses too and just man up. I've had women that I've been into, and little by little they've done that. Like they'll take longer to respond, right?
Yeah.
And then even longer to the point where now they don't respond.
Yeah.
So it's like, okay, I get it. It sucks, but I get it. Okay.
Yeah.
No, and I let it be. I'm not gonna define myself for that.
No, and I've had it happen to me too, right?
Yeah.
So I get it, but
No,
I
just
wish
don't
I would have
tolerate
been.
it. Before I would tolerate it more, and I even gave myself these excuses. I'm like, what the fuck are you doing? You're better. I don't.
Yeah.
I think, and I want to clarify because I know someone will run with this when you said he was too nice. I think Nancy and I are just very alpha women, and not in a bad way. So when somebody is like your husband, he is relaxed, like you said, and very calm, but he'll
He's
bite.
the children my
He'll
crazy.
bite. Like he will stand up and challenge you. And Nancy and I kind of need that as women. I just can't have someone who's putting me so high on a pedestal. I need challenge.
I mean, it's about what you like.
Yeah.
I think.
There's nothing against super nice guys, and that's not what she means.
I think we're just too sensitive. We gotta, individual as a woman or as a guy, right? You just gotta for lack of a better term, man up. You just gotta be like, you know what? Yeah, it doesn't feel good. I was rejected, but it doesn't mean you're a horrible person for not accepting me. I'm just not your cup of tea.
Yeah.
And I think sometimes we allow ourselves what other people think of us to be the final say. And that's one thing. That's one thing that I learned because I like to please people. I like people to like me and stuff. But then you realize you can't always please everybody. Especially when you develop friendships like Jessica. Like, she doesn't know what she wants half of the time.
Shut the fuck up. I get a lot of it. Tay Barbie, I would agree with you. Some people put up a lot to have somebody, but I think that's somebody who isn't recognizing feelings versus attachment. And I think, in a lot of past episodes, and we got to move on from this, but we stress attachment versus feelings. And until you can understand if you're just doing that for attachment versus if you really like somebody, people will continue to do that because they seek attachment and not actual real connection. And it takes a lot of awareness of self to really know what real connection is and to be patient with it. I mean, I'm patient with it. I also can identify things and move on very quickly. Yeah. But we got to kind of go from this because I do want to get this in, and then I want to talk real quick about older women, younger men in the end. Why I love them. Why I love my younger men. Not that young, guys. Not that young. That sounds bad. But so you and I were chatting, and the movie, what is it called? Oh, God. It Ends With Us.
Yeah.
With Blake Lively, came out today. And I want to preface this discussion with, and that movie, just to give a little backstory, that movie is a movie about a lovely, passionate romance. And then they get married, have a child, but it's about emotional, sexual, and physical domestic violence. And I thought it would be, I always want to talk about this in Domestic Violence Awareness Month, but because the movie came out, it is really not only trending, but I think people will be more aware of it, and I think it's a great time to get a message out. So the first thing with prefacing this subject would be if you are in a domestic relationship, and that's not just spouse, guys. That's if you're a kid and it's your parents or whoever that is or anything like that. The domestic violence hotline is 800-779-7233. Absolutely reach out. Even if it's just a chat to get your confidence a little bit up, small steps can make a big difference. And you can always text 88788, 88788. And that will, you can live chat too with someone that can listen to you, can maybe advise you, and can comfort you, and maybe help you get yourself out of this cycle. I also, I think Nancy and I talked about this today, and want to preface the subject that although we absolutely have to prioritize the victim and getting them help, their children, however that is, right? They are the priority. We must have more programs, and we must have more, places, safe houses. I know the ones here in Prince William, I was talking to somebody last week, have actually closed, and that's sad to me. And
That's crazy.
There was one in Bristow, and it was a house, for women that had been abused. They can go there with their kids and have a roof over their head. Because a lot of times you do have to get out very, very quickly. But Nancy and I talked about, as much as that is the case, obviously, first and foremost, that we have to remember that the abuser has often been abused. And if we don't start addressing programs for the abuser and getting them help to break the generational cycle of abuse, that is going to get passed down to children or to whoever's around. And we must look at that, because Nancy and I know many men in this case, or a couple men, that have gone on to get help, and they have thrived in their next relationships, and they haven't repeated cycle, and therefore, their children, hopefully, and those around them won't repeat the cycle of domestic abuse.
Right.
Do you agree?
Yeah. Well, to an extent, yes.
Yeah,
As you said, there is somebody that I know, a couple people that have been very physically and emotionally abusive to their spouses, and they ended up parting ways. And in the one case, the husband had let go of alcohol, had gone to counseling, met a new woman. They have a child, and they've been married, I guess, now for over 20 years, and he has 3 beautiful children, and him and his wife are amazingly happy, and he's healthy. So I don't think it's impossible, and I think that if they're willing to seek the help and they're open in acknowledging that there is a problem, that it can work and it can be resolved. It's just such a scary thing.
It's a really scary thing. And I think a couple of things, when you are abused, it's such a shameful place. And I read this, hold on, if I can, where did I put my phone? I think a lot of with abuse comes guilt, because you believe I know for those out there, it's so hard to believe, but you truly, truly think it is your fault when you're in it. You are convinced it is your fault when you're in it. Mm-hmm. And the tremendous, tremendous amount of shame, and not thinking anybody will want you, and not telling anybody because you're ashamed. And a lot of times you want people to think your life is perfect.
Right.
Because if they don't, then your walls crumble, because then you have to be accountable to get out, and you're so afraid for so many reasons. I mean, fiscally, obviously out of physically harm's way. I mean, that's
right.
The obvious. But, I think starting a whole new life, I mean, being alone and single but when you have kids and, I think the director of the movie, who also acted in it, he said, I have a lot of male bias, so I had to get coached on the subject to understand. And he's like, the question that is often asked by people, and we're going to use women like I did in my stories today, just as the example, because this movie is based on a woman getting abused, but obviously men get abused too, is he said, what people always say, why doesn't she leave? Why doesn't she leave? And he said back, he goes, but the question we're asking the wrong question. We should be asking, why do men harm?
Yeah.
And it's so true. Like, we put this emphasis on women, but we're not by asking them that and putting the pressure. We got to figure out why they harm, how to get them out, blah, blah, blah. It's like a conglomerate of things.
Or maybe ask them, why are they staying? Not why can't they leave? Why do you stay?
Well, that was the general question. Why do you stay?
I feel like a lot of women.
Real quick, so you can answer it right. So I think what he's saying is, when we ask that question, well, why do you stay? Mm-hmm. And he's like, we're immediately putting them on the defense. Like, what the fuck, get out. And I think until you're in it, you don't know. So he said, what we should be asking people is, why is this man harming her? And he's, in other words, I think it's more of a statement, not really a question. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes sense.
All right, so go ahead with what you were saying. Sorry.
I was just going to say, a lot of women, when they get to that, or when they're at that point, they already feel as if they're nothing. They're going to amount to nothing. So what are they going to do without their other half to support them? And that's their only, they feel like that's their lifeline and their way to survive, even though they know they could end up in a body bag and taken out of that house. And some so desperately love their husbands or partners, and they just so desperately want it to work. and they think that one day it will work and he will change and we will make this happen, and they don't realize that there is no light at the end of the tunnel. And that's why battered women syndrome is such a real thing. I can't tell you how many people I've spoken to about it, and they think it's a joke. It is a total mental condition.
I think, this goes back in my history. I think I'm not embarrassed to say I'm a victim of domestic violence, and I still to this day protect that person, and they've gotten better, right? Mm-hmm. And that's not to slight, but like, I think people think like it's just monstrous and that's all. And there's love and there's passion and charisma and history, and
it's intoxicating.
But there's real love there. Just because someone hits you, doesn't mean that.
I'm gonna just get up because that thing's about to fall.
Oh God, on my head. And so I think, and you want to protect that person. You want to protect them because. Despite that, there's so many good qualities about them. There are. That's just not what they are. What doesn't take away the horrible thing, the act. But so, I mean, it kind of goes with what is that Stockholm syndrome? Where what is Stockholm syndrome? You
empathize with the person that's
harming you.
Yep.
Correct. Mm-hmm. I mean, it's kind of the same concept, and everybody knows that's real. So I don't. Yeah.
But there is light at the end of the tunnel if you choose to get out, and there are, seek counseling, go to your friends.
I think there's a couple things.
Family.
You have, I think the debilitating part about abuse besides the act of either physical, sexual, emotional, especially narcissism. And you and I talk about that.
Yeah.
Narcissism is probably one of the most debilitating things as a person, man or woman, to come out of. It is literally, you are brainwashed. You literally believe something that you're different than the reality of what you actually are. Mm-hmm. And it's insane. And I think narcissism almost puts the most shame from experience, from talking to people. But I think some notes I wrote down is, you have in the healing, I think obviously therapy, but you have to understand challenge the things that your brain believes. So if you're saying I'm worthless or I'm a loser, whatever those things calculated to in your mind, one of the healing techniques, and I journal, but was write a opposite sentence of that.
Yeah.
What you actually are, because you almost have to reprogram your brain to think that you're actually not worthless, not
right.
You're loving and you're not crazy. Like I think I came out of so many things going, I'm crazy. Am I crazy? And that's really hard. Rediscover yourself, do a lot of self-care. I think that's the beautiful journey, is becoming self-aware, which is lonely and hard, but it's worth it. And figure out why you attract these people. I think that's key. Figure out what in them is making that attractive, because a lot of times it's because familiarity. If you grew up with trauma and drama and incidents, believe it or not, even though we say we don't want drama, it's what we'll keep closest because it's what's most familiar.
Yeah. Or what are you attracted to? Were you attracted to in them that made you gravitate and want to build something with them? Because there's always indicators and red flags. As small and tiny and minute as they may be, there's always something that shows you.
Yeah.
Unless they're
100%. No,
an amazing actor.
Wow.
And there are some of those.
I think now I know, because I'm able to walk away from red flags that would just be like just nothing to do with that, right? And I'm able to identify and things that trigger me. And so I'm not picking those same type of people. And I'm not picking trauma because it's familiar. Because I noticed when friends started to dissipate, the friends that go away when you start becoming self-aware are the ones that you're most familiar, because they were toxic attachments as friends, trauma bonds. Meaning like all trauma we talk
bonding
about is other people. So that was our bond, and you start to see that fall away. So I think, yeah, you have to see that. But I do think from all the research just throughout the shows, whether it's abusive relationships or XYZ, you go to what is familiar, and familiar is comfortable even when it's bad.
Yes.
And I find that extremely interesting. Guys, do you want to say something? Sorry.
First of all, I want to. I'm glad you guys mentioned the side of the abuser to get, that they can get help and rehabilitate
Absolutely.
themselves.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Because sometimes we just like demonize the abuser, right? Like they're a lost cause, they're the worst, they're devils. But if you look for the right help, whether it's church, a counselor, there's so many, ways to get help. So I'm glad you guys brought that up. That doesn't have to define you. Just because you might have been that way doesn't mean you have to stay that way. So that's a good thing.
And I think
everybody has their moments.
I think, Frankie, we need to look at all people. I'm not talking about murderers and all.
Yeah.
Because I always.
I mean,
have to
even murderers
preface-
can rehabilitate themselves.
Yeah, but a little bit different.
I know.
I just see people get demonized on TikTok if I don't clarify.
Yeah.
But everybody in life, if you take the steps to get better and work and really stick with it, everybody deserves that opportunity. And again, abusers, and I know this is hard for some people to swallow, they were abused, and if they get help, some people are just evil. Some people are murderers, some people are criminals, some people are abusers, men and women both. And, I mean, they're just going to be evil, and that's that. But most people can rehabilitate themselves if they want to change. And we have to get more programs like that so they're not passing down abusive cycles.
Yeah, and that was also, you actually touched the next point I was going to say, where there's some people, maybe when they drink, they become violent, right? Mm-hmm. Or maybe, if they do certain drugs or certain things trigger them, they're not necessarily violent all the time, right? So I think when things like that happens, I think the victim tends to think, oh, but he's not like that. Only when he drinks. The victim always tends to, excuse, justify, explain the behavior of the person. And it has to do with the fact, like you mentioned earlier, you're in love with that person so much, you kind of don't want to believe that they're like this monster, quote unquote.
Right.
So psychologically, I think it just affects in so many ways that it's not just pick up and go. And it's just a horrible situation. Me personally, I hate, I'm not big on violence. I'll watch some certain sports, but I don't like fighting.
Yeah.
It's like I get anxious when I see fights. I'm not like, oh my God, look, they're fighting. I'm not that kind of person. I'm like, no, don't I hate just picturing hurting another, person. It gives me anxiety.
It's an ick.
Yeah, Nick. Yeah.
There you go.
Julio, any thoughts?
Yeah, no, I agree with what everyone says. It's really about admitting to yourself if you're the abuser or you're being abused. Because like you said, sometimes you're just blinded by the relationship or the love that you have for somebody. You're like, oh, they'll never do this on a good day. But when is a good day? Yeah. And then the person that's hitting is like, I went through this, so for me it's kind of normal to act this way. So it's just kind of about finding the correct mindset to finally realize something's not right in both situations. And like you said, I mean, now we can get help with so many ways and just, overcome things and become a better person. So, if it's happening to you or if you're doing it to somebody, just get help.
I think, do you have something else to say? I'll wrap this subject up.
I was just going to add, I don't think anyone, for the most part, is inherently bad or wants to do bad, I think that hurting someone else or being violent is definitely a learned behavior. And just like you learned it or were exposed to it, you can unlearn it and teach yourself
Nature
to
versus
be
100%.
a different way. Yeah. So I just wanted to end it with that.
And I want to say one more thing for Julio said. And I think we need to stop excusing because, I was like this, so this is why I am, and start saying, now I know why I am how I am, and therefore I should change.
Right.
Well, I think total blame, and this is a subject for next week. No matter what happens in your life, this is a new theory I learned. Take total blame for it, even if it's not your fault.
Accountability.
Well, this isn't accountability. It's like a theory about tricking the mind, and we'll talk about it next week. It's actually interesting. I think what you said is good. I think it's easier said than done.
Oh, absolutely.
Even in today when there's a lot of help, it has nothing to do with, it's kind of like, it has nothing to do with the help. It has to do with the shame and the fear.
Yeah.
And some of these guys put the fear of God, and girls. I mean, I think any time in our life, I remember I've said things to partners, you and I talked about this in the past, and I'm like, oh God, that was a little bit borderline emotional. Like, and you take a step back. So I think we all have these incidences of life where like, whoa, who was that? You know what I mean? And I, go apologize. And so easier said than done, but I agree. I think 16,800 people in this country die in a domestic situation each year. That doesn't mean necessarily your spouse. It's domestic is domestic, right?
Yeah.
4,000 women die each year from domestic violence directly related with spouse, normally spouse. $2.2 million are spent in our ERs for medical bills. I think they're mostly a lot unpaid. And that's just the ones that get reported per year in the United States. And this isn't to slight men, but it's 95% of abusers are men to women in a relationship. But what I want to say to men or women, if you're in an abusive relationship, is that you're not worthless. Don't be ashamed. You are none of these things, and you keep telling yourself that. And when you can get out, when you're strong enough to get out, whatever you have to do, and that time will come. But know you're worthy of not dying, because it never leads anywhere good if you don't get out, and you will die. And people say, well, oh, it's just a little point. It escalates and it escalates and it escalates. And I don't want to see you die. I might not even know you, but I'm going to cry. Every life is worth it. Every life is worth it. Just ask for help, and the right people will help you, I promise.
You're not alone.
And if you're a
never
family
alone.
member and you see it, help that person. I think a lot of us don't want to get involved, and we see it, and we don't, we don't step up and help.
Yeah.
Or when you are, you're told, oh, well, it's not that bad. It's that bad.
Yeah.
It's that bad. When someone's calling you, and even if it isn't, are you willing to take the risk of walking in on your friend, male or female, dead? It's that bad.
Yeah, I want
And
to
if
add
you're
to that,
wrong
too.
and they hate you, who gives a fuck? At least you did the right thing. And I would do it 10 times over to not risk somebody dying. Go ahead.
I was going to say, when you have a friend that is going through something and you're hearing about it all the time, you're just like, I can't hear it anymore. I don't want to listen to it. I'm not going to be here for it. You talk about it all the time, yada, yada, yada. Do not do that to your friend, because it might take them 2 months. It might take them 10 years. It might take them 20 years before they finally get the courage to do what they need to do to get out. But it is your job as someone who loves them to be there for them and support them and lift them up no matter what.
We always say our job as friends isn't to tell people what they're doing wrong. They already know what they're doing wrong. I mean, that doesn't mean don't guide them and say, if they ask, you feel like this little, or,
Be honest.
Be honest, but our job is to be friends and real friends and show up authentically. And anyway, just go back. I'm here. You can DM Tribe Called Jess official at gmail.com. All my socials. That's not to get you to follow me. You can message me on socials without following me. I'm here. I will get you help, point you in the right direction, whatever I can do. So anybody out there in abuse, and let's repeat the hotline and the text again, and then we'll move on to why I like younger guys, and then we'll get John Canford out of here. If you are in a domestic violence situation, you can text 88788 from your phone, 88788 from your phone. And if you are, I think I gave this out wrong last time. It is 800-779-7233. That's 800-779-7233. And that is the domestic violence hotline. And we love you guys. Hugs to anybody going through it. And
You're not alone. You're not alone.
Okay. So I don't know how I reverse, but we know I like my younger men, and Frankie sends this reel. Hold on. John, can we play the reel? We're going to play this reel because Frankie sends this to me today.
Do guys prefer younger or older women?
Older women are more confident and assured of themselves, know what they want, have higher standards, and hold you accountable. So younger women.
I love her reaction.
Her facial expression.
Yeah.
So what
Do
the
guys
reel
prefer
said-
younger or older
Okay.
women?
She asked him, "Do guys prefer older or younger women?" And he's like, "Older women are confident. They're more whatever.
Yeah, they hold you
All these great
accountable."
things, they hold you accountable." And he's like, "So younger women." However, in watching that, I'm like, there is truth to that. I think it goes for older women and very confident women.
Yeah.
Because I think there's a lot of guys, and this could go for girls too, but I can only speak from my experience, that are uncomfortable with extremely confident women. And with that comes older. And they're going to go for easy versus confident. I don't want to say challenging, but secure.
Yeah, I made my hubby work for it.
Tell us. He's younger than you. How much?
He is a little younger than me.
Little
Only
bit.
by a year and a half.
My last was 8 years younger, 8.5.
Yeah.
And I'll go to 35.
I mean, hey,
whatever.
whatever
If
floats
it's-
your boat.
If they're 29, it's fine. Nothing below.
They're an adult.
I mean, I just love the energy. Like, so the idea of you brought this back, the movie, the idea of you with Anne Hathaway and that kid, and he's younger, and they end up getting, anyway, that brought back the whole trend now of people talking
yes, I haven't
about
seen that movie
Oh,
yet.
got it.
And
Okay.
he was like 24 and she was 40 in this movie, and it did work out. He went out and found himself 5 years later.
Don't ruin the movie.
But I mean, for me, it's like that energy. It's, I mean,
What
the
kind of
sex is
energy?
good. And they're very trainable, and they're very willing. What I like about them right now,
They're very willing.
well, I'm still on my celibacy kick until I decide to break it, so there's no limit. But no, I mean, you know what I like about them now, and I'll say this, and I said this before I got off all dating apps. All the ones that were younger than 35 had a plan, and they were going to take me out, and this is the plan. I just didn't
I
go.
love that.
Everyone, every single one, when we were out in DC, asked the 28-year-olds, the whatever-year-olds, I mean, they talked proper. The other one's like, "Yo, what's up? What are you doing? By the way, I have a great house. You know, my kids are away." I'm like, what the fuck? Like, I'm not trying to come bang you, dude. So, but I do think guys like easy a lot of times. All right, so go ahead with your story, Rob, because I wanted to kind of preface all that.
Well, I was the first person. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe the second. But first long committed relationship that he's had was someone even remotely close to his age.
Were they younger?
Yeah, way younger. And what was funny when we first met, wasn't interested, and then I saw him again, and then we kind of built this bond via being like really good friends.
Hey,
And
it's
yeah,
Bond.
Really good friend.
And you know,
Hey, what kind
subtle.
of-
What kind of
Yeah.
bond was it?
That one. That's what I was like. I'm like doing all
I
this
know it was just as like scissoring over here.
Yeah, there was no trimming.
tripping. That's what I was doing.
But it was really funny because he said, you know, I really need somebody that can match my energy and keep up with me, and I don't know if you're going to be able to do that.
Boy, did he bite off more
And-
than he could chew.
Yeah, little did he know, baby boy had to put on his big boy britches and keep up with me.
I love when young guys or girls say that to me. And Carrie Ann's always like, "Why am I 27 and I'm in bed and you're still up till 6 a.m.?" And I'm like,
I'm a night owl. Yeah.
I'm a morning, noon, and I have the energy for a life. I mean, now I value my sleep, but I love when they try and say, I'm like, "Bitch, you are asleep and I am still on go." Like, and I've been at Echo till 5. Remember, hardly anything to drink for me
Yeah.
at Aoki. Perfectly awake, didn't go to bed till 5, 6 a.m.
That was so much fun.
Pretty much sober, danced our asses off. I drove us that
Yeah,
night.
I came home and he was just like, "Oh my God, babe, you're sober." And I'm like, "Hell yeah." I just danced
our
every
asses
bit
off,
of alcohol I
yeah.
drank off
Yeah.
that night. It was so much fun.
So I love when younger kids try to feed me that shit. I was like, you better hope you have my energy.
Yeah. So yeah, I think that's funny
hot.
that he thought that. But
And then, how did you make them work for it?
I I would hang out with him, and then I would ghost him.
Oh.
And then
After we just said don't ghost people.
and then we'd
How
go out.
mature of you.
Catch and release.
You know what?
Catch and release.
I go through eras.
Catch and release. See, that's much better with the term.
Okay, it was catch and release.
Catch
I
and
was
release,
going
yeah.
through my bodybuilding era.
Oh yeah.
And so I didn't want to drink that much, even though I still drink vodka.
Yeah.
But I didn't want to go out on a boat. I thought that was kind of lame. Like, why would you want to spend your weekend on a boat on the river, be smelly, when I could be going to
Yeah.
Cafe Citron and dancing my ass
it was
off on
just a
tables?
different time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So when I finally,
Cafe
I
Citron.
blew him off like 3 times, and finally the last
She
time I was,
blew him 3 times. Go ahead.
Blew him off.
but the
I'm
last
so
time I was like, hey,
confused.
I'm going to come out on the boat. He's like, oh, really? I was about to leave. I didn't think you were going to come because you said no the last 3 times. I said, no, but is it okay if my 15-year-old son comes with us? he's just like, well, we're going to this festival, and I don't know if that's appropriate. And I'm like, nah, he's fine. We'll be fine. And then
That's
ever
my
since
Nancy.
then, we literally were inseparable. We were on the boat every weekend.
Yeah.
Wait, was a 15-year-old a joke or he came?
Jordan.
No, it was Gavin.
Gavin.
Nobody brought him?
Yeah.
Nancy, she's like, I will bring Oshi. They're like, I'm like, oh, I'm not missing out because of my dog. He's coming.
No, it was like one time with my 15-year-old, and he loves the water, and
So he charmed your husband's name, Robert?
Rob.
He was charmed Rob. Thank
did
your son.
charm Rob.
Thank Gavin for it.
But what was funny, he still had this thing where he wanted to be single Rob and be, all about him. And I was older, so I'm like, all right, if you want to date, it is no longer just about you. I also have 3 children, so, you have to we should be the center of your world, not you. Like those play days are over if you want to. If
Wait,
you want
so
a relationship.
he was single, no kids, and you had 3?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then what was funny,
It
would
was the right choice.
a little bit on
obviously.
and off because he still kind of wanted to do a single thing. And he would play video games with the kids online. I'd be like, guys, no. You can't do that.
You don't want another 4th teenager.
So then by the end, he's like, no, I can't do this. He's like, I'm all in.
Yeah.
And that was it.
Yep.
And that was it. But I had to lay the law down.
Because Rob knew. Guys. Because what do I always say? Life is too short
Yeah.
for shitty sex and bad relationships.
All I understood from the story is that he needed people to play video games with, and he found 3.
Oh my God.
That's what I got.
Well,
from the
he
story.
found 2. He found 2.
Well, I'm going to continue my search. I might end my celibacy if I find the right Viking, but until then, we'll see.
It's going to
I might.
happen.
I might. Oh, it'll happen. I'm sure when I least expect it. Anyway, what I was saying, life is too short for shitty sex and bad relationships. And if it's not giving you income, inspiration, or orgasm, why are we fucking with it, guys? Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you next week. Take good care, guys. Later.